You can go ahead and start. With the mic.
Tell me.
Should I just start? Yeah, you can. Okay.
Wait.
I'm just gonna start with Praduma. Wait.
Wait, never mind, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought we usually like chant like.
Oh, yeah.
Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sadhana Shri Vishakamitam Cha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Page 55 in the PDF.
All right, so I'll just start from. You want to take that thing?
Yeah.
Pradumna. Anad Bhavanti. Prabhupada. Anad Bhavanti. Pradumna. Bhutani. Prabhupada. Bhavanti Bhutani Anad. Ana means food grains. Either animal or man, they must eat sufficiently. Either you eat grass or you eat rice or wheat or oats or something. Must be. So they are called ana. In Sanskrit language, it is called ana. Ana means food grains. So anad bhavanti bhutani. Every living entity lives. Nowadays, there are scarcity of food grains. Even the human being cannot eat sufficiently. But formerly, the kings, they used to maintain elephants. They were supplied very nice chapatis. Do you know that? Still, there are kings, they have elephants. Therefore, elephants can be maintained by a very rich man. If somebody comes, he says, take this elephant, I give you free. Will you take, will you accept? You know that elephant will devour you. Your means or income and all family income, because you cannot maintain elephant. Therefore, in India, when 100 years ago, some students would come in England, especially London, and make a European English wife, in old days, they are doing that. So people would say that this man is maintaining one white elephant, because a European wife means very much expenditure. So one Mr. C.R. Das, he was a high court judge. So he was taking bribe on account of maintaining a white elephant. He married one European wife. The expenditure, very high. In those days for Indian, it was a fashion to get a European wife. So this man married one European wife, and his expenditures was very, very heavy. So high court judge, he was getting only 4,000 rupees, and his expenditure was 10,000 rupees. And therefore, he was taking bribe. He admitted. So when he was detected by the Chief Justice, he was dismissed from the post. But this is the position. You should not expend more than your income. So, calm on. So, calm on. Yes, what is that? Anad bhavanti bhutani means embodied. Those who have taken, accepted the living entities. They live by eating ana, either animal or human being. You require ana, produce food grains or grass or anything. As the animals eat and man eat, you must produce. And that production is there on the ground, not your factory, not in the Birmingham factories. There are many factories in Birmingham. You cannot produce food grains there. Therefore it is said, Anad bhavanti bhutani. Then next.
Sorry, my phone's updating. Parjanyad anasambhavaha. And Parjanyad anasambhava. Parjanya means if there is waterfall, rainfall, then you can produce anna. Parjanyad anasambhava. One after another, you require food grains, and for producing food grains, you require sufficient rainfall. Parjanyad anasambhava. Then, yagyad bhavanti parjanya. Yagyad bhavanti parjanya. In the next rain supply, be regular if you perform sacrifice. Therefore, what is that next? Yagyad bhavati parjanyo yagya karma samudbhavaha. Yagya karma samudbhava. Yagya karma. Karma means according to the Varnashrama. Brahmana should work according to his own position. They will chant Vedic mantra. That is also one karma, activity. They must understand what is Vedas. They must explain. That is Brahmana's business. And Kshatriya's business, karma. This is called Kshatram karma svabhavajam. Brahma karma svabhavajam. Vaishya karma svabhavajam. Shudra karma svabhavajam. By nature, one has got a particular type of work. So yagya karma samudbhava. What is that?
Yagya karma samudbhavaha. Pradyumna, Yagya karma samudbhavaha. Prabhupada. Karma samudbhavaha. If everyone is doing his duty nicely, as a Brahmana, as a Kshatriya, as a Vaishya, or as a Shudra, then no, there is no question of what you are due, of that you are due. Everyone has to do his work according to his capacity. Just like in ordinary life also, we do not see that everyone is able to do everything. No, there are a certain class of men. If you want some help for repairing your electric wiring, you must call for an electrician, not a carpenter. But when you want to repair a door, you require a carpenter. That is Vedic division. Therefore there was caste system. Everyone, I have seen in India still. In your country you'll also find the potters. During Diwali season they make small dolls. So I have seen the potter's house. The children, 5 or 10 years old, they are also making small dolls. Because by tradition, by family, the father is making doll, the mother is making doll, and the children also learning. Similarly, the weaver, you will find, you supply there are this system, you supply. Gandhi wanted to introduce this system. You produce your thread and give to the weaver, and weaver will give you cloth. Why are you looking after this Manchester cloth? By this movement. Tape ends. Unless you want to say something.
False wealth or real wealth. Paper currency, cheaters and the cheated. Gold standard and because it encourages large-scale industry and trade. Real wealth, cattle and grains. Prajapati. Actually, I was concerned this morning about inflation. The government and the newspaper, they say the biggest problem today is inflation. From our Krishna conscious standpoint, how can we cure this problem of inflation? Prabhupada, it is very simple. Don't accept paper currency. It must be gold or some metal worth. Just like in $1, it must be worth $1 metal. Then it is solved. But they want to cheat. How it can be solved? Because if I pay you $1, I must pay you value for $1. But is the cheating process is going on? I pay you $1, a piece of paper. That's all. So you accept cheating and also I cheat. Government allows. So how the problem can be solved? It is cheating. But the government allows, it is a law. And you accept, I accept. How they can be solved solution? This is the solution. Prajapati. In the economy itself, there is not actually enough money too. That's even in the banks. Prabhupada. That is cheating. Therefore I say, cheating. I have no money. I gave you simply paper. I promise to pay $100. What is the use of that promise if I have no money? But you want to be cheated. I cheat you. That's all. You are satisfied of being cheated by me. So I take the advantage and I cheat you. I give you a paper. That's all. Bahulashva. Real money is gold and silver. Prabhupada. Any, it must be value. According to the market price, it must be value, whatever it may be. Gold is taken because gold is the most valuable metal. A small piece of gold it can carry to $100. But if I give you iron, that you have no bring another, what is called bas to carry it, laugher. So therefore, gold standard is accepted everywhere. There is a standard price of gold. So when I pay you money, it must be carried the value in gold. That's all. That there is no inflation. The people want to be cheated and people cheat. That's all.
Bahulashva. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada, you say that Kali became gold standardized. Prabhupada, that is another point. That one who has gold, he can purchase these 4 kinds of sinful activities: meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex. If you have money, you can get illicit sex from big quarters. Is it not? Karandhara, yes. Prabhupada, yes. The sinful activities have increased because the world has produced too much wealth, because they can purchase sinful activities, and that is being increased by inflation. False money I have got, and with that false money I can purchase all this illicit sex, wine, intoxication, and it is just like nowadays, bank is giving you a card, AmeriCard. What is that? Karandhar, charge card, Bank AmeriCard. Prabhupada, so you simply show the card, you get the goods. So to exchange, it has become very cheap. So cheaply you can purchase. Therefore, cheaply you can purchase sinful things also. The people are becoming sinful. The modern economy is engage people in hard working to produce, and by artificial cheating, secure the goods, commodities. This is modern economy. So a worker is getting $3,000 per month, but he is getting paper. But he is thinking that I'm getting money. He is giving his labor and things are being produced. This is the policy. Cheat him without giving him money. Without giving money, give him paper and get his labor and produce goods. This is modern economy, is it not? A laborer, a worker is given high salary, high wages. So what he is getting? It is paper. And he is very enthusiastic to give his labor. So production is more. And when you go to purchase the products, then you have to pay again. Whatever you have earned, you have to pay everything. Pay to the bank or pay to the man. Simply cheating process is going on. Prajapati, this is part of our platform. To even run for political office, we need solutions to the problems to offer as a platform. We will draw up various bills ready for legislation, show them that we are serious. Prabhupada, so how you'll present it? The cheating process is going on. Unless you become God conscious, the cheating process will not stop. So there is no solution.
So therefore we introduce Bill into the schools to introduce God consciousness to all the children there. Prabhupada, yes, God consciousness, then everyone will be honest and everything will be adjusted. Everyone can understand this is pure cheating. I give you $100, a piece of paper, that's all, and you accept it. You want to be cheated. You thought that I have got now daily $100, so let me work very hard. He does not consider that I am not getting $100, I am getting a piece of paper. So people have no brain to understand even this is not $100. Give me cash, $100, then everything solution will be. There will be no inflation because I know that paying you a piece of paper, I can cheat you. Therefore, I am printing notes to cheat so many people. Therefore, inflation. But when there will be no possibility to cheat you, then there will be no inflation. Here I have got the opportunity because I know that pushing forward a piece of paper, I can cheat so many people. So there must be inflation, is it not? This is not psychological. If I know that I can cheat you by this instrument, so why shall I not increase that? That is inflation. What you think, Karandhara?
Karandhara, that's the basic principle, yes. Prabhupada, yes, I am cheating you and people accepting my cheating. Purandar, the government's actually starting the whole thing. They instituted paper money and they instituted it because it is a cheating process, but everyone is participating, so it is just going on and on. That is the real cause of inflation. Prabhupada, yes, that's it.
Does anybody understand this? I don't understand. I mean, this whole like Prabhupada's explaining the cause of inflation. Is that
They're saying that the paper has value, so they can just print more and more of it because they're trying to cheat. They're saying like the paper has value, so they can just print more and more of it, so they can. It's like cheating you because they're telling you it's worth $100, but it's just a piece of paper. But gold is worth $100, and they can't just print more gold. You have to like mine it out of the ground. It's actually worth $100, but the piece of paper isn't. It's just given that value. That's how. And then they try to cheat you by printing more because they're saying.
And then it's worth like 80.
It's worth like less and less.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean that's how inflation works. It's a basic principle.
It used to be that the U.S. dollar was tied to a gold standard. So $1 of gold, there was backed by physical gold in the treasury. But then they went off of that, and then so they just printed money, and it's backed by like the U.S. military basically. But there's nothing actually backing up the money, if that makes sense. So it's just literally just paper.
Was backed by the U.S. military?
I mean, it is now, like to this day. Like basically, it's just like based on the strength of the military that there's a value in the U.S. dollar.
They have more.
As long as the country lasts, then the money has some supposed.
Yeah, as long as like the military can enforce, our power, then that's like what's holding it up, basically.
I mean, like even now, there's like a bunch of countries that used to like accept the U.S. dollar, but now like China and like a bunch of other countries are like forming this thing to start like to make their own like currency that's backed by gold and stuff like this, because they're like seeing that like the U.S. dollar is like failing basically, because it's not backed by gold or anything. It's just you're printing more and more, and the money's getting worth less and less. So they're like, yeah, but you said bricks is what it's called.
Say it's backed by the military, so it's like it's backed by brute force.
Yeah. Another thing also, this is just another perspective, but like generally like sometimes like when there's like a deficit or some problem like in the economy, then like they'll pass a bill to like print so much money. Just like the stimulus check, for instance, with like COVID, like so many people got like $2,000, but like for what, like where that money come from? It's like they passed a bill. I forget. I wasn't reading the news and all that stuff back then, but like whatever, like $1 billion, $2 billion. Where does that come from? They just like nowhere. It's like the money doesn't like exist. Like if you have a bank account, like you have so much money in the bank, right? Like whatever, someone has like $1,000. But like you don't have like 10,000, so they can just like create money like out of nothing. So that's like what Prabhupada's saying, like it's like cheating. Yeah. And they're making the point because there's only so much amount of gold. You can't just like create gold, or like milk or all these different like things. It's not.
The value of money is like decreasing because the illusion is. I don't know.
I took like an economics class, so I learned about this for like a year. But like so. If in a recession, the economy, supply and demand are like below the long-term supply, so the government can like the demand and supply, short-term supply are below the long-term supply, so the government can put more money into the economy to boost the demand. So, yeah, okay. So yeah, the government can the government can add more money in basically, and then people have more money to spend, so it increases demand for things, so they have more money, and an increase in demand increases prices. Okay, it's hard to okay.
It's really simple. It's really simple.
I don't know. I'm not good.
Look, it's very simple. Like the more money that gets printed, the less each dollar is worth. Do you understand that? Right.
But the point also that you can see the dollar is almost same position. Almost, it's not like they have like a devalued, and the people are thinking, oh, now his dollar is like a cost dollar less than previously. Still is like almost same, even. Almost.
It's like almost 10 times less valuable than.
No, it's like here, but if you compare with another currency all over the world, it's like
It's still the top.
yes, it's still on top, and the and the people even they have some, if they want to make some like another alternative to use another currency or something, they don't have another choice because dollar like is you can use everywhere, and this is like a more stability, and you know with this. Even if you have so much inflation, and even everyone is cheating. It's not like all only Prabhupada know all this cheating process. Everyone is cheating, but they don't have another choice because all this economical system is cheating. You ask him, he will tell you all these things.
That makes sense.
Prabhupada, yes, that's it. They're getting encouragement in their cheating business. Bahulashva, they won't let you have any gold. Prabhupada, now they have made law that you cannot store gold. Kurandar, that's been since 1933. Prabhupada, just see. Kurandar, Americans cannot own gold, store gold. Pretty soon they are going to pass the same law for silver. Prabhupada, just see. Even they cannot have ornaments. Kurandar, well, you can have ornaments, jewelry. Prabhupada, so by law they are cheating. So how you can stop? Kurandar, now they have introduced a law that even the penny, which is the smallest denomination, it is made out of copper, so now they are going to make it out of aluminum because copper is too expensive. Prabhupada, just see. Bahulashra, it will be worth less than a penny when it is made out of aluminum. Prabhupada, why not cement? Because by law everything will be acceptable. Make it cement. Bahulashra, Srila Prabhupada, what can we do to curb down these rascals? Prabhupada, chant Hare Krishna. Bahulashra, that will curb them down. Prabhupada, yes, they will be purified. The more you chant Hare Krishna, they will be purified. This is, all problems are there on account of misunderstanding. What are we distributing? We're simply moving misunderstanding and bringing them to knowledge. This is our propaganda. So, Mr. Theologian, is this suggestion appealing to you?
Yeah. Prajapati. It seems all right for ordinary dealing, Srila Prabhupada, having this kind of money, but for large-scale transactions it might be very difficult. Prabhupada, huh? Prajapati. And as this practical basis, transactions of thousands and thousands of dollars would be, Prabhupada, that will be good for the people, because large-scale transaction is there, therefore the capitalists are hoarding. Goods are there, everything is there. You pay black price, you get it. Then, when somebody is hoarding, he is not giving to the market. So if the large-scale industry and trade becomes stopped, that is good for the people. Jagadjivana. Does that mean the same amount of gold is here? No. Prabhupada, no. Larger scale. Suppose if you want to store, say, 1,000 kilos or 1,000 bags of rice, so you have to pay me gold. But you have no such gold. Therefore, large-scale industry will be stopped. Just see. Kalandhara. Then the price of rice will go very low. Prabhupada, yes. Then you get the actual price and actual value. Goods are there, in any part of the world there is enough commodity. But these rascals, they are hoarding, and they are not giving in right time, so people are suffering. Karandara, yes, they buy now. They buy the goods before they are even grown from the commodity market. Prabhupada, yes, because they can pay in this paper, the bank will advance. So as soon as you have to introduce this metal coins value, the whole cheating scheme will fail. Jagadjivana. In the past, there are a lot of gold on this planet. What happened to it? There used to be a lot of gold on this planet.
I was going to make one comment, but Prabhupada here is speaking so much just about paper currency, but I mean, like nowadays, it's like everything's becoming more digitalized.
They mentioned briefly.
Yeah, he mentioned the card. Yeah, Bitcoin, and there's so many other of these cryptocurrencies that go around. But it's like literally people have like billions of dollars on like the computer, and like also that's like changed like the the nature of like I guess like criminology, because people would go and like, I mean, if you're gonna like steal a whole bunch of gold, it's like a whole thing, and then like people go and rob a bank. I mean, that's also a whole thing. But now people don't even have to like rob a bank. If they're a little intelligent, they can just rob countries, international banking systems, and that happens often actually. So it's interesting that it's like moved to that, and then it's even too with the card now. It's just like all on the phone because they have the Apple Pay and Android Pay, and so anyways, so it's just like it's like crazy actually. Like all that, like how that's developed, like it's like gets to the point. I know at least on like some airlines they won't even take cash, that you have to pay with like card. So it's just like even more and more now money's just like numbers, you just pull up on your phone. It's like, okay, I have that much. You never even see it. It's like you don't even know if it's like there or whatever. But anyways.
If AI wants to destroy human society, as some people speculate, eventually they're intelligent enough,
Yeah.
they could just wipe out the whole AI can
The banks.
wipe out the
Yeah. And then this like idea of you don't even see your money leaving is that makes people more consumer. There's more consumerism becomes more prevalent because you don't feel like that attachment. So there's like even more cheating is available. You can advertise more things. People will buy more because they don't have any. If you don't you're not giving anyone something. You're just like moving a number. It doesn't feel, and there's more cheating can be happening, I guess.
That's why like we get a lot of big donations on the card.
Yeah.
It's like people are less willing to give $100 cash than they are to tap $100. It's a psychological thing. Yeah, they've studied it.
This is interesting point. In Sweden, they don't have a cash. If you will show in Sweden in any shop or like a gas station, you can show the cash. They will like make the eyes like this. What is this? Because they forget about the cash. Some people have like maybe from last century, but no one using cash. And actually, it looks like also very practical, because you cannot make bribe. Like you cannot give because like you make black money. Everything is visible for government. It looks like the good system, because wherever you should pay the taxes, and whatever all you have expenses and the income and the salary, everything is very clear, because it's not like going. It's like it looks like a very very good system, but still they have another opportunities to make this black things. Like the people they have like Kalki Prabhu told some countries they have some special teams of people who can like take money from your account, and they don't know what to do. There's big amount of money, and then they can make this money, and they can transfer this money from this currency to another currency to another bank, and then transform this to another things and all like this. You cannot find any route. Where is it? How is it? It's like it's cheating on the cheating. This is amazing.
Alrighty. Anyways, more can be said about that. But okay, where are we at exactly? Jagajivan?
And when he asks what happened to all the gold.
What happened to all the calls? Okay, I see Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Or maybe I don't see. What happened if you, is that or no?
Yeah, what happened if you keep.
If you keep a utensil, okay. What happened if you keep utensil at home? What happens? You eat nicely on the plate, that's all. Why you are concerned what's happening? It is in your store, that's...
Even before that.
Oh, before that? Okay.
Yeah. In the past, there was a lot of gold.
Oh yeah.
In the past.
Jagajivan. It was like two stanzas before.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Jagajivan. In the past, there was a lot of gold on the planet. What has happened to it? There used to be a lot of gold on the planet. Yes, they used as utensil, as household pots, just like now you are advanced, using plastic. Because you have become very advanced, so you are using plastic. They were using gold. Jagajivan. So what has happened to that gold? Prabhupada. What happened? If you keep utensil at home, what happens? You eat nicely on the plate, that's all. Why are you concerned what's happening? It is in your store, that's all. And gold is such a metal, any part of the country, any part of the world you go, you get immediately value. Karandar. Yes, whenever there is an economic depression, then gold remains valuable. Just like when the stock market crashed in 1929, if you had gold, you could still purchase goods. No matter how bad the economy was, people would accept gold as barter, but not currency. Prabhupada. Yes, Indian economy was that if you have got extra money, you get gold ornament for your wife. So then your money is stocked there. Or purchase some utensils, silver utensils. That was Indian economy. This depositing in the bank and thinking that I am getting good interest, that is another cheating. It is another cheating. If things are not valuable, if things are not available, what will you get by getting interest? Therefore, I am advising that purchase land and produce our own food. There will be no problem. Krandar. The inflation rate is higher than the interest rate. If you earn, what is that, 5.75% interest in a year, the inflation has gone up 6% in a year. So actually, your money, at best, it's kept the same. Prabhupada. The money is to be kept in cattle and grains. That is Indian economy, cattle and grains. If you have got many cows, you get milk preparations. And if you've got grain, then where is your problem? You prepare your foodstuff at home and eat and chant Hare Krishna. Where is your problem? You want to eat and live peacefully. So if you have got grains and milk, you have got enough food and there is no problem. You haven't got to go 50 miles for your work and then you require a tin car. So many problems. But if you get your food at home, then eat them and chant Hare Krishna and go back to home, back to Godhead. Simple thing.
He was talking about like how the banks are cheating people, and what the banks do is they take all your money and they invest it in stocks. That's how they make money. That's how the banks have these huge buildings. Like in Atlanta, you see like those huge bank buildings because they take all your money and invest it. And if there's risk there, and if you just did that yourself, you would make more money. They might give you like 0.5% in your savings account interest. But if you invest it yourself, you'd make more, and that's what they're doing with your money already. So they're cheating you too, in that way. Just to make that point.
The big thing that they also advertise is security, because your money isn't going to go anywhere, including back into your own pockets when you want it. So it's like, it's all a scam.
But it's gone. As soon as you put it in there, it's gone.
Yeah, they're using it, like, they're investing in so many different instruments. So.
Can I use this? Is it okay? Prajapati? Oh, wait, we're here?
So many people.
Yeah, I mean, they have to advertise security, so they play on people's emotions like that. But yeah, I mean, just to state the obvious, kind of the flow of this conversation is that this whole system is unstable. I mean, just me asking about how this is working and not understanding it, it shows that it doesn't make sense. It practically does not make sense. Yeah. Even if you do understand it, even when you finally figure out what exactly is going on, you're like, are you serious? This is like, yeah. So anyways, Prabhupada just mentions here, the money is to be kept in cattle and grains because this is the only stable source of wealth, because it's intrinsic to human existence on earth. Cattle and grains is intrinsic to human existence. No matter what happens, we need grains and cattle. So that's just to state the obvious point.
On what you were saying about the grains, I thought of this one at the beginning when we were reading, but I didn't know we could make comments. But that verse Prabhupada mentioned in the beginning, Anad Bhavanti Bhutani, I remember reading, I'm pretty sure I was reading this in the Mood and Mission a few months ago when we were editing it. There's a section talking about how Srila Prabhupada preached, and that he always he gave a practical presentation, a relevant presentation of Krishna consciousness. So I was saying during one class in India, this man started asking, so do you all believe in Advaita or Dvaita, and dual and non-dual and all this?
There's an interview.
Interview.
Yeah.
So he's asking all this, and then Srila Prabhupada fired back with asking him, why is he asking about this? Krishna says, Anad Bhavanti Bhutani, that to eat you need grains. Yeah. And for grains, that has to come from rains, and the rains comes from yajna. And so he gave this whole practical presentation of like, how is this knowledge relevant to like how we can like practically apply it, how it's important. and useful and that kind of thing. So I thought that was nice. Can I make one more point on that? When it's nice because it's here, like where devotees understand, or our understanding by Maharaj's mercy and his representatives' mercy, the importance of Varnashram Dharma farm communities, books and farms. Then we read this, and it's like we get the practical point. We're seeing, okay, how can we implement the things that we're hearing to push on the Varnashram Dharma farm communities. But if you, in other places where when people are hearing this and reading this in like classes and groups, it's all just like hypothetical. That's no one's reading, no one's reading it. But then if you find some, like I was at a devotee's house a few days ago in a Zoom call. They were reading, I think it was from the Lilamrita and it was Prabhupada's instructions about farms. They're reading it and it's nice, but to them it's just all hypothetical. It's like, oh, that's nice, Swamiji's speaking about simple living, but there's no idea at all that, oh, we're supposed to take up that instruction, we're supposed to do that. So, but Prabhupada always kept it practical. That's the point I was trying to make.
I was going to say to your point about the complexity of the system. I mean, just like how we talked about, I guess, like principally speaking, it's the same. Like if you have, I'm trying to think, how did this come up? When we were discussing about how in the past people have turned into like dictators, and these farm communities and whatnot, because they've maybe had so much of the philosophy to be able to use to their advantage because it can be so developed and complex. It's the same with the financial system. Like it's so complex that you can't really understand it, and they can throw all these hypothetical figures also that aren't actually existent and tell you that this is what your money could be and this is what you couldn't have and this is what your bank account is at, for example, but it's not actually there, and the figures aren't real. It really is purely speculative. Yeah. A lot of what they advertise, value-wise. So it's completely and totally designed so that you can cheat in so many different ways, and you see this like in so many different times. I think Vishnu Chitta Prabhu had also referenced the housing crash, or like the recent crash in like 2008, for example. In essence, the banks gambled with these, super risky instruments, and they got away with it. I mean, because they ultimately, it's like they even though like you give the explanation of, oh, this happened and that result happened, and we got to account for this, but we fixed it and put a big fat Band-Aid over it. Ultimately, I mean, they gambled with the money. Like that's just like the hard line point. But again, it's like they play with this complexity in order to like essentially cover their cheating, like with so many different layers, and it's just cheating under cheating on top of cheating. So,
and just speaking for myself, growing up, I always hated economics. I didn't care. I never really had to pay bills or anything. But I hear about 2008 stock market crash. That was bad, but I don't know what it means, what happened, what's really going on. And then we're talking about all this, and I'm ignorant of all these things. So I'm just making the point that these things are super hard to understand, and it takes an intelligent person to understand it. And most people are not intelligent and don't care to understand it, or just physically or like mentally can't conceive of things. And so like that, most people are just completely fooled, and all they know about. I mean, growing up, all I knew about banking was what I saw on the television, the advertisements they put there. And so, yeah, that's the point. It's like people are generally not intelligent. And so therefore, everybody's just getting cheated.
Right here, Indian. It looks like it moved.
The inflation rate.
Prajapati. Right? Prajapati. Yeah. So many people now employed in sinful activities. Jobs. Oh, come on. What happened? It moved. Jobs that are to do with sinful life. If we get rid of these sinful activities, what will we find for these people to do to replace their jobs? Prabhupada. Do pious activities. Do you mean to say we have to continue sinful activities for their job? Laughter. They say like that. Prabhupada. No, we shall give engagement, Prajapati. Cattle industry, liquor industry, tobacco industry, all these big industries. Prabhupada. Yes, let them be without industry. Come to us. We shall give them food. Yes, just like that. What is that? Rigari. Rigari. He was thinking that unless I kill animals, how I will eat? I shall live. And Narada gave him that, I will give you to eat. Come here. So he became Vaishnava. So that is our propaganda. Stop this nonsense business. If you think that how you shall eat, I shall give you eating. Come on. This is our program. First of all, you stop it. Then I will see how I will give you. Just see. When I came first, I was alone. I had no shelter, no food. And how we are maintaining now thousands of people and giving them to eat and nice shelter. How it is possible? It is possible. Because after all, Krishna gives everything. So if they become Krishnaized, everything will come. Why they bother about these sinful activities?
Varnashram to save a troubled world. Every ISKCON center should be every ISKCON center should be a Varnashram college. Leadership means to see which man is suited to which work and to engage every resource properly. It is a sign of mismanagement if people are not inspired to work. Varnashram management will end unemployment and famine. Prabhupada. The politicians' business will be to exploit the poor citizens, and they will be embarrassed and harassed so much. By one side, no sufficient rain and therefore a scarcity of food, and the other side, taxation by the government. In this way, the people will be so much harassed that they'll give up their home and go to the forest. Very pitiful. Unless they take to Krishna consciousness, they'll not be saved. The Varnashram college has to be established immediately. Everywhere, wherever... this is when this was? Yeah. Everywhere, wherever we have got our center, a Varnashram college should be established to train 4 divisions. 1 class Brahmana, 1 class Kshatriya, 1 class Vaishya, and 1 class Shudra. But everyone will be elevated to the spiritual platform by the spiritual activities which we have prescribed. There is no inconvenience even for the Shudras. Jai. Hare Krishna. Are Shudras supposed to take sannyas also? No. Why? Shudras. Prabhupada. Those who are Shudras should not be allowed to take sannyas. Only those who are qualified Brahmanas will be allowed to take sannyas. Bhagavan. Kshatriyas used to take sannyas too. Kshatriyas, some of them, not all. Yudhisthira Maharaj. Yudhisthira Maharaj.
I have a historical question. This kind of historical question. Bhagavan Prabhu took sannyas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he had a marriage ceremony. How soon would he take sannyas?
He took sannyas, I think it's 78.
Here's the mic.
After Prabhupada left.
There's some propaganda that gurus should all be sannyasis. So then even though he had a good marriage, he was pressured to give up his wife and take sannyas.
He had a lot of problems later on, though.
Yeah.
They did not take sannyas, but they left home. There is no need of accepting sannyas. One has to perform the devotional activities. That is a real thing. Simply by changing dress, one does not improve, unless he takes to the seriously principles of devotional service. But in the Kali Yuga, they'll think, because I've changed my dress, I've become a big sannyasi. You see, because I've got a sacred thread, now I am Brahmana. No, there must be regular training. Hare Krishna.
So it's 7:15. Does the mothers have any questions or comments? Anybody else have any questions? Otherwise, we can keep reading. Okay.
I don't think we mentioned it here, but it's just one thing that I was thinking of is how Prabhupada says that gold will solve the prostitution problem. So it just reiterates, he says this like in, I think it's the 3rd canto in the Bhagavatam, but I could be wrong. But it just reiterates that point that Prabhupada is making, and that the men were discussing about how not having this physical form of money is actually, it causes us to not have any attachment to it, and it's also much easier to engage in sinful activity. So I just, that's something that I often remember when this conversation of dealing with gold and natural resources comes up.
So on like the farm communities, would we have like currency, or would it be just like food and grains and like milk products and stuff? Like would there be like any like gold or anything, or just be like products?
Well, I wish Vishnu Chittaprabhu was here to answer that. So I can only say like that's an ongoing discussion. In Hungary, in the New Vrajadam project, for instance, everybody living within the immediate vicinity of the project does not have an outside job, from my understanding. So those that are living on the property, that are like really actually involved in the project, they won't have outside jobs. So they'll be provided for by the management, provided for by the community, and we provide for each other. I know Vishnu Chittaprabhu was impressed by the Bruderhof system of governance, which is Bruderhof is a German word. It's a Christian-based community. Prabhu's talked about it previously, but no one there actually owns anything. They kind of live like brahmacharis or something, even though they're families. In the documentary, one gentleman was talking about, these are all coats that I have in my house, but I don't own any of them. If I need a coat, I just write a letter to the clothing department, and they just give me a coat right then and there. No need for any, how much money do you have? How much work have you done? So everybody's provided all of their needs. And the question, if everybody within the community has provided all their needs, then the question is, what qualifies somebody to be part of that community? It takes a level of surrender and self-sacrifice. You need to work hard. And now if someone's sick, if someone has some bodily issue, some injury or something, there's reason in that, and okay, you need time to recover. Everybody's needs need to be taken care of. But it's not that one can just be part of such a community and sit around and exploit the resources that they're provided. So, no, we will not have, we'll definitely not, the members of the community definitely will not be involved in karmi money. Now, the treasurer of that project obviously has to be involved in that. But whether everything will be through barter, or whether it'll be kind of like a spiritual communism kind of situation where things are just provided, the question is, I don't have the answer, but I just know that there's some discussion like that. And Vishnu Chittaprabhu is discussing with Guru Maharaj sometimes hours every day. So they're like talking a lot about this and really trying to figure out the best way to go about things based off of past ISKCON projects, speaking to a lot of senior devotees that, there's devotees from Hungary that are here. Vishnu Chittaprabhu was meeting with them about, getting some insights into how we go about things. So these questions are being asked, but I don't have any answers from my position.
There's another angle. Oh, sorry there. Hare Krishna. One thing also is that, one big factor, it depends on how self-sufficient the community actually is. At least the individual members, they may have less dealings with hard cash. But like if there's still like, I mean, it's not the case, but like if you get some property and then like whatever, something gets like a building gets destroyed and then there's not like sufficient, you don't have like the skills to like build another building, then like someone outside has to like build that building. So until like there's 100% self-sufficiency, then there'll still kind of be like involvement with the world, and that may like generate that. But that, one of the main things I think is like just like kind of getting away from like that consumer mentality. And I was just listening to a class today by Guru Maharaj. He's the education class, and he was just saying people get educated, but the whole education is just geared towards getting a good career and not like taking care of your family, or like it's money and career first and like family second. So there's like a lot of different like aspects to it. Of course, like as Prabhupada was saying, like the main direction should be, okay, like the wealth is in like cows, milk products, grains, fruits, flowers, all these different things, because that's how it is in the spiritual world in Goloka Vrindavan. This is Goloka because it's like, there's cows there, and then the wealth is like all the different flowers and things like that. They use Krishna decorates himself and such like that, and the ghee and everything. So I mean that's like the perfection, but then there may be like steps towards that. But like for sure, like you want to like try to pull off all that stuff as much as possible, like getting involved with money, because then it creates like cheating mentality, and then this and that, and things can get sour real quick when you deal with money in the wrong way. And that's been seen in like ISKCON like so many times in different devotees. Somebody gives somebody some money and then they don't like give it back or whatever, or they like misappropriate it and then they can't pay someone back, and then things get fried out, or like whatever, or like devotees are working so hard and like getting like, and it's required in some aspects also to raise like millions of dollars and get a property. And then whatever, you've heard that so many times. Devotees working hard, selling paintings and stuff. They get a property and they can't maintain it. So it's like, it's like a double-edged sword. But anyways, Prabhupada said a couple of things about that.
In New Vrajadam, they do have a system called the Sham coin, where there is, I think the missionaries who live there, they're like a certain amount of their salary, they have to use the Sham coins, which is like some sort of trading system. We didn't have an opportunity to discuss with them so much about that, because it seems like even it's something they're also like figuring out. But I mean, even like Nandagram and Kurmagram, they're so developed, it takes a long time to establish something like that. But I think just land and cows is like the main thing, at least for like a couple generations. It takes a while even to get that strengthened.
How long has Gormagar been around?
That's a newer project, isn't it?
No, not that long, maybe like 5 years or something.
They're just building like newer houses, so.
It's definitely doable. Like you could develop. It won't take us It doesn't have to take us decades to develop.
Prabhupada said something about a Gauranga coin, so it's in the books about Varnashrama, but how it gets established, I don't know. It takes some time to figure that out.
And the point also, this living in the farm communities should be like as simple as possible. It's mean if we eating like avocado and we're thinking how we can manage avocado, it's mean like we should produce some more and other products, and we can barter this or we can sell this and purchase. It's mean we can reduce all these unnecessary things because it will be complicated to make. And Prabhupada told it also, we not should be like a commercialize, or like should we not produce over whatever we need, like all these grains and all these things. We should only produce will be sufficient for us. That's it. And all the rest of time we can spend for Hare Krishna. We can chant more, we can read more, we have some discussion. Is our process. Otherwise we can be in the mentality, we can bring the city to the village. Still in like Rajagun, like more, like we can use this land for this, and then we can grow much more rice and much more turmeric. Mango is for us. We can few trees for brahmacharis. We can have like this will be nice. But the point that we should be not like to make this red race in the village. This is as much as simple as much. Today I heard Guru Maharaj lecture is called the beginning of Varnashrama. He gave this in Dubai, 2000 tour in May, and he told, as much as you have mood and understanding, you want to live simple life, it means you in the right way. It's an interesting point. Like it means when you start to think, also, my life is really complicated, and we should live as much as possible easy and the simple. And it means, like from this point of time, you start to like think rightly and you're in the right way, because it's proper understanding.
Just on the point of simplicity, you can see in other places in North America where Varnashram Dharma is being mentioned a little bit, they'll have a TV and play a nice tape from Srila Prabhupada talking about living off the land and having a farm and growing everything you need. And it has some inspirational Vaishnava music. And then right after, they show their idea for a farm. And it's like, we've got 5 billion acres and 18,000 tractors, and we're selling 500 pounds of tomatoes to Walmarts all over the country. And then you're wondering, like, okay, it's a farm, but where's the idea of simple living if you have to maintain a big enough farm to sell to Costco and Walmart and all of these things? Doesn't really seem to fit the idea. Anyway, that's my opinion.
Yes, like this.
You have horses, and you have this like a backpack with books, and you can like ride the horse, and maybe not like to Chicago or like maybe it's nearby, like some marketplaces or something like this. But this will be very effective. This also the you see, and the mood also, your consciousness and the mood, and the people will be. Usually people outside for book distribution, when you met them, as much as simple, they feel this. Of course, many people, they like to be cheated, and they can be cheated even some big rascals like who can cheat like all this bank economy system, of course. But some people really they feel the purity of the person, and they became inspired of this, and they really appreciate it, and they can be a devotee also. And of course, if you can maintain this simplicity in your mind, and you live in you can meet some person who live very simple life, even some in monastery, even some like Orthodox church, or you can see they have some purity. Eyes is like very pure, and he is like very humble and sincere. And people feel this. All the people feel this. Who you can go any village, like a deep village. I don't know in America you have it or not. But in Europe or in Russia, in India, if you go some places, like people is very simple, they became very attracted for the people who is in the proper consciousness, and they became inspired, and they can make some relationship. It's very nice, because when your mind in sattva gun, and you can try to also enlighten by spiritual energy, and it will be very effective, I guess.